I just had to film this to share with you. I was just in here feeding, and I found the tiniest little Panda Cory. This is my 55-gallon with some blueberry tetras in it. They're not quite fully colored up yet. Haven't had them all that long. But I put this tank together fairly recently, and it wasn't quite ready for prime time. I wasn't quite ready to talk about it. It's holding a lot of plants, sort of just acting as a holding tank for some rescape projects that you'll definitely see. I have a 40-gallon breeder that I'm going to rescape, and I have a brand new 75-gallon. We're going to do some aquascaping with those. Anyways, part of getting the 40 breeder ready to rescape was taking out some of the old knotted up plants that were in there, and my best guess is that this guy came in on some of this bacopa, because the bacopa came from the 40 breeder. So did that tiger lily. But he must have come in on that. He might have been just an egg that was on there. But that is so cool. There are Panda Corys in that 40 breeder, I should mention that. Make this make a little more sense, but I'm so happy to have this little guy here. I'm going to drop in a sinking wafer so he can sneak in a nice meal. But every once in a while in that 40 breeder I would see a little guy like this from their breeding. That little colony was slowly growing over time, because I do feed a lot of baby brine shrimp and a lot of frozen foods and things like that. But that's so cool. I love when you get surprise spawns, and I think it's really cool this guy made it through being transported. One of the other interesting things is some of this bacopa had a whole lot of hair algae on it. So I actually floated it for a few days in my Pseudotropheus psilocybe, or Chindongo psilocybe, if you prefer, if you're nasty. Chindongo psilocybe tank, so that they would eat the algae off of there. It works a treat. They love that algae. And anyways, I floated some of that in there for a few days to let them clean it off real good. So it's possible that it was an egg stuck on there that survived through floating in that tank for a good 3-4 days, and then coming over here once they were done cleaning it off. But I'm so happy. And Panda Corys are just like ridiculously cute when they're babies. I love Panda Corys. But yeah, every once in a while that 40 breeder, it was really fun. I would look up and I would swear I had just seen something just skirt by, something small and white, and I'd be like, what the heck is that? And then I would spot one of these guys. It's only happened a few times. My mind is literally blown with this coming over like that. Now that I'm here, I'll give you a little bit of a tour of the tank. Now I've got I believe this one is red flame sword. Part of the problem is I bought like 3 swords. I bought a red melon sword, I bought a red flame sword, and then another kind of red sword, and I don't remember which is which. But I bought those all in like rapid succession to try and just have them ready for some of the rescapes that I'm going to do. Anyways, I've got that. I put it in a just a planter that I had with some I don't even know what that is. I think that's fluval stratum maybe. This would be a little better than the inert sand for it. And I could also, you know, heavily feed those roots, all that good stuff. This one here, this giant, just plain Jane sword, you can see a lot of these leaves are in bad shape. You could get in there and trim those off, but I'm just thinking, you know, let nature take its course. I'm sure these ram's horn snails that I have in here will help trim away some of that dead leaf. But it is also in a planter. And the idea is that, I don't know, I'm thinking I'm going to put some hardscape up around the planters maybe. One of the things that I want to do with this tank is to have kind of a big bacopa forest over here, as well as that tiger lily, depending on how it does. It's got another little sprout that I took off and put there. But have that forest over here, and then have kind of a cool crypt forest over here. I've got some crypts in that 40 breeder that I'm going to break down, and I'm going to bring that over here because I don't think any crypts are going in that thing long term. I think all the crypts come over here, and it'll look nice. You know, they might grow. The one that's in there, I forget exactly. I think it's Crypt Tropica, but it should be tall enough to mostly block the big planters. I don't mind the way they look. I find the fish actually really like to hang out in them. They'll get in under the Amazon sword and hang out kind of in that bottom of the planter there. But anyway, we'll have a nice little crypt forest. I am going to have to come through here and just put a ton of root tabs down in the sand. A lot of this is going to get used. Some Crypt Wentii green there. Some of this is my, like, probably one of my favorite of all aquarium plants. Just good old golden Anubias. Love that stuff. Can't get enough of it. I have it everywhere. And I'm not mad at it. I think this is Crypt Parva, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. One of the cool things, though, about this bacopa that's in here, the one that kind of brought our little hitchhiker in, one of the cool things about this bacopa, this is like my longest lasting plant. I've had this plant for probably running on 8-9 years now. And it's been in multiple tanks and multiple iterations. And at one point, you know, I just had it in like a 2.5 gallon little tank that I just had like a few little shrimp in. But right now it's in here. It's in the 40 breeder. I've actually got it in a bunch of tanks now, because I kind of have a bit of a sentimental attachment to it because this thing has lasted so long. And it got down. At one point, it got down. Like, I know you can see some of these where there's not a whole lot of leaves, but maybe there's some roots sticking off. At one point, it got down to where I had just a handful of those. Not a lot of leaves left. It was really hurting, really not doing so well. And I brought it back, stuck those in a tank, got a few leaves built up. I really love when it gets up near the top, and I don't think any of it's doing that in this tank because I've kind of trimmed it down when I've brought it over. But you'll see the leaves change colors when it gets up there. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to share. There's a little hitchhiker again. Super cool. I was kind of wondering what kind of Corys to put in this tank, because it was definitely going to have Corys. It was either pandas or stirbai, or maybe even like a whole big school of Astatus. But I think now I'll go pandas. Just, you know, maybe this is a sign. Cool little hitchhiker guy. born in here and all of that. But yeah, this is the 55. I guess the last thing, so this is a question for anybody that's watching. You see this guy here that's like got the darker stripe on its body. None of the rest of them have that, and they have a little bit more like purple coming through. I'm kind of torn. Does that mean it's just one of those that hasn't colored up as well yet? Because like none of them are really colored up as well as what the pictures look like or what I see, you know, from other people's videos. But I wonder, is that actually, like, is that a blueberry tetra? Is that Hyphasobricon wadi, or is that a different species? Did I get a contaminant in there? I'm not sure what it would be if it wasn't, but it does look different. Where'd it go? I think I might have just had it on the camera there. They're kind of freaked out because I'm standing here talking at them, and I'm usually a few feet back, just relaxing in the chair. But anyways, love to hear your opinion. Is that just one that's a little slow to color up? Is it a different species? Or what? But yeah, a lot of these plants will come out. Most of those plants will come out. Going to go in the 75, going to go in the 40 breeder. And we're going to try to do like actual legitimate scapes. I've never really been super happy with the scapes that I've been able to do, so one of them is going to have some Cereus stone, the other one's going to be Oko stone, so I'm not going like, you know, with anything crazy. It's all super standard stuff, but I got a bunch. I think that's a big part of the problem, is I always try to cheap out on the scape. I don't buy enough. I bought a bunch of each. And I still suspect I may need more Cereus stone, but you'll see videos of that coming up. Anyways, I just wanted to share this stuff. Let me know what you think about this tetra. You know, is it a different kind? You know, I can see maybe it'll color up more, maybe not, but anyways, what do you think? Also, just happy about the little hitchhiker. I don't know where it went. I think it's back around here, but I'm gonna probably drop a wafer back there where it can get to it in peace. Just enjoy it, but that's it for now. You know, I hope you're enjoying your tanks. Thanks for stopping by.